Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of Wandering and Pondering. I was debating whether or not to do this video today because it is very, very hot here in the UK. So I might be a bit parched. I'm walking very slowly because there is sweat dripping from every pore of my being, but I wanted to come out for the walk, and I wanted to do the video, you know, even if it's just kept short and sweet. If the heat becomes overwhelming, then so be it. It makes me laugh, because English people constantly complain about the miserable weather, and then when we get blessed with glorious sunshine such as now, it's can be quite dramatic. People act as though they're dying, they have to cancel all their plans. It's just it amuses me. So if you are someone who struggles with the heat, I hope that you're okay. I hope that you're in a place where you can keep warm. The one thing I will say is that in the UK we don't have air conditioning, so unless you live in a very old house with thick stone walls, you're probably feeling this heat and humidity today. But for all of those fellow sun babies like me, may you enjoy this beautiful weather, get your skin out under the sun and receive all the sun codes. So today I am walking somewhere different to, nearly just hit my head on that branch, you can see it behind me. Walking somewhere different to where I have filmed in the past. Where I'm going to is not a part of the Witchwood Forest. It is still a walk that I go to out of my front doorstep, but I decided today, as it is so hot, that I would walk down to the river Windrush, where I'm actually going to go and sit in the river because it's so hot. It's beautiful, fresh water here, and it's a little magical glen where there is a bridge and reeds, and where all of the dragonflies are dancing. It's always very quiet down there too. It's a place that I like to go to. It's surrounded by forest as well, so you can probably hear the crickets around me now. The river it's actually surrounded by a private forest, so it's very quiet. Not many people usually passing through. So I like to come down here and actually just sit by the river and meditate, because water is one of the sounds that brings me the most sense of ease and peace and calm within myself. So I'm very excited to show you the river once I get there. And I also feel very activated when I'm around water, and the water has really been calling me to come down and sit and sing and speak, and also just to receive messages and codes. So I'm excited today. I walked for about half an hour and I thought, oh my goodness, I think I might have to turn back, but because of the heat. But the thought of putting my feet and hopefully my body into the river kept me going. So yeah, here I am. Excuse my breathlessness today. Something that I did want to talk about before I get to the river is intuition, which seems like such an oversaturated topic to talk about, and perhaps something that seems slightly obvious to talk about. But I felt called to it and drawn to it because it's so important that we keep coming back to ourselves over and over again, and that we never question that voice within. And something interestingly that has been coming to my attention kind of over and over again throughout cycles, especially as menstruation. I'm still a woman who bleeds regularly and monthly, so I have the cycles where my intuition and my psychic abilities enhance and shift and change throughout the 28-day cycle, which is fascinating when you start working with that. And I am due to bleed today or tomorrow. So the last few days, my intuition, as my womb has been filling up almost like a volcano ready to erupt, all of this powerful energy, both physical and energetic, has been building up in my womb. And often thoughts and feelings and memories and deep inner knowings can really come to a woman at this time. And I will talk about men too, but I just want to honor my experience at the moment to kind of set the scene for this pondering today. And what I wanted to share is that during this time, a woman can have very, very strong and clear psychic abilities, and it can be messages and knowings about things or about people that we really don't want to be true. We can often get feelings, thoughts, sensations, messages in our dreams about friends or family members who perhaps are thinking about us in ways that we didn't think would be true, or have ill wishes towards us. And, you know, women, especially women, but also men who have really strong psychic abilities that they've decided to tap into. All men and women do, in my opinion, and it's just whether or not we choose to go down that path of honouring the psychic within us. Often when we choose to honour these thoughts and these downloads and these feelings, we get labelled as crazy or psycho. You know, especially a menstruating woman or a woman in her PMS can be really like seen as this monster, and that is just such an awful label that we need to totally disregard and reclaim it as I am this like strong, psychic, knowing, wild woman, and that energy might scare you, but it does not mean that I'm insane. And just really reclaiming that. But I also did want to nod at often when we get these strong intuitions and psychic nudges, what the mind, and our mind is only trying to protect us and support us with the patterns that we've been teaching our mind over our lives through our experiences. And through our thoughts and our words. By the way, we teach our minds either consciously or subconsciously, so the sooner you start to realize that, the better. But what can happen is our minds can lock on to these psychic downloads, feelings or intuitions, and start obsessing over them. And that's when we can start feeling overwhelmed with perhaps paranoia or anxiety and overthinking things. So that's something that I wanted to just nod to be aware of. And before that spiraling starts to happen, something that I like to do is, you know, if a thought or a feeling comes in, especially about a person, I allow myself to be open to it and imagine that I'm taking a step back from the situation. So looking at it as a third party, seeing myself and seeing the other person or situation or thing that it is that I'm being shown, and step back out of my own lens from it, you know, and really just take a moment to ask more questions, ask more. Don't just accept the message or the feeling or the intuition as it is presented straight away. Ask more questions. Say, is this showing up to teach me something about myself? Or is this person actually having ill intentions towards me? And is that something that I should be aware of so that I can protect myself? Ask more questions, gain more clarity, ask for instruction and ask for the lesson, so that then before you start spiraling, and trust me, I'm sharing this because this is something I've done many a times, and then you end up crazy texting people and just going insane, and that's when you can't sleep and all of this stuff. But asking for the message, asking for the truth, and you can ask this from your soul, your higher self, spirit animals, any guides that you work with, what you resonate with the most. You can ask for the guidance from the highest truth of source, whatever resonates with you. I like to change it up, you know. Sometimes I just put my hand on my heart and ask myself. That feels the most empowering and the most resonant often. I just want to stop and show you for a minute this beautiful tree with the wildflowers around it. Beautiful purple and yellow colours. Yes, so ask. Keep digging for the truth of the situation, but ask yourself. Ask your own heart. And often these psychic downloads and stuff that come in, don't go to that person, you know. Seek the truth from within and find the guidance that is necessary and the lesson that is being presented to you and why it's coming through. And then you should receive, usually for me it's like words that I need to say out loud to my mind to reset that program, so that it doesn't start spiraling into paranoia, anxiety, worry, feeling like I'm crazy, questioning myself. We have to stop before that happens and find some really strong, empowering words like, I'm an immortal soul and I protect my energy, and I protect any ill words, thoughts or intentions that are directed at me at this time, and I transmute them into love and abundance. You know, you can choose the words, whatever it is, but it's really important to actually, in my opinion, it's really important to speak out loud, like own that power. Because for me, when I speak out loud, I can feel the vibrational resonance in my heart, like fluttering, and it pulls your power back in. Because often when we get downloads, even though it's a very mystical experience, it is still in the mind, you know, we're still keeping it internally in ourselves, and that can become swirling and it can become intense. So once you transmute it out into your breath through your words, you can rechange the energy quite quickly, almost like a samurai sword, cutting it. So yes, that's my advice. That is my pondering of today. Oh, I just got tickled by a stinging nettle. And I've just reached this beautiful shaded glen before I have to walk down a valley. I'm just going to show you this gorgeous tree. I love it when all of the vines are on the tree. And I'm about to step back out into the heat again before I make it down to the river. So I'll pause and I'll restart this video when I make it down to the river. So I've made it down to the river. I'm just going to show you this beautiful, beautiful place. It's lovely and shaded. You wouldn't know how hot it is. It's a bit hazy in the sky here. Try not to talk too much so that you can hear all of the sounds here. That sacred water sound. If you're watching this, feel free to just close your eyes and take some breaths. Oh, and allow the waters to heal you. Got my feet in the water. Usually this water feels ice cold, and today it just feels like heaven. That just proves to me how hot it is today. I'm going to love you and leave you shortly. Standing in the river, I'm going to stay here for a little while. I might even see if I can just fully submerge myself in the river and get these gorgeous codes. I know the water doesn't look that beautiful today, but it's fresh with river water. The bottom of the river is kind of a mixture of sand and mud. That's why it looks a bit murky, but when you actually smell the water, I like to splash it on my face and cleanse myself with the water. It has that beautiful, fresh mineral water scent to it. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know your thoughts and your experiences about intuition in the comments. I'd love to know how you deal with those extreme points of feeling anxious about something and questioning yourself or questioning someone who you really care for in your life. How do you deal with that? And I think I forgot to mention, that men, honouring you and honouring every man, woman and every body, however you choose to identify, just because you may or may not have incarnated in this lifetime as a womb keeper, you still have the cosmic womb of creation, those codes within you. So every man and woman can tap into those cosmic womb, intuitive, divine energies. They are within you, in your womb, or if you're man, in your hara. It is that sacral energy center that holds the womb codes of divine creation, intuition, creativity, and also the element of water, emotions. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours. See you soon.